What's up, awesome YouTubers? Ryan1988 or Justin back here to do another video for you all, and we're continuing on my countdown to Halloween with a review of A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, the movie and the 4K. So, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors, came out in 1987. It was a direct follow-up or direct sequel to the original movie. Freddy's Revenge came out, Nightmare on Elm Street 2 came out in 1985, and even though it was a hit at the box office and did really well, a lot of the reaction to the movie was negative. A lot of people didn't love it or didn't like it. And so New Line Cinema brought back Wes Craven to not only produce the movie, but also write the film. And I think at one point, and I could be wrong, but wanted him to direct the movie. However, he didn't want to direct it, but he is definitely involved with this movie, and you see a lot of him throughout the film, especially in the writing. That's the major part of this, is his writing in the movie, the story. But the movie is directed by Chuck Russell, who would go on to direct one of my favorite horror movie remakes, and that is 1988's The Blob. He also recently directed The New Witchboard, which I have not seen that movie yet, but I've heard pretty good to mixed things about that film. And Chuck would go on to direct so many other things outside of the horror movie genre. So if you look at his IMDb, there's just so much there. The Mask, Eraser, so many movies. So Chuck Russell's been around for a very long time. This was his first movie, or at least his first big film, and it remains one of the best movies in the franchise. The movie also has Frank Darabont, who is credited as one of the screenwriters in the movie, and you could definitely see Frank Darabont in this movie because of how the characters are written and how they're developed. Like, he's really great at bringing characters to life. Either when he's directing actors or he's writing these characters. You could definitely see Frank Darabont in this movie, and he would go on to have a long career in film and television. And he would also collaborate again with Chuck Russell on 1988's The Blob. The movie centers around a group of teenagers who are in this hospital, struggling with their dreams, not wanting to go to sleep because they're all dreaming about the same person, and that is Freddy Krueger, and he is terrorizing them one by one by one, and soon starts picking off some of the kids. And then with the help of Nancy Thompson, Heather Langenkamp in this movie returning since the original movie, she helps them try to defeat Freddy and have their dreaming abilities conquer him. Because once the kids are dreaming, they have their own special abilities. So the Dream Warriors, a huge success in the franchise. It brought back what people loved about the original movie. Again, Nightmare on Elm Street 2 was very much mixed, had a very much mixed reaction from people, very negative reaction overall. And so Nightmare on Elm Street 3 was a fan favorite and still is a fan favorite today. It's one of the best movies in the franchise. It, created so many great things in the movie, or it had so many great things in the movie. Fun kills. It had scares, but it also started bringing a lot of the humor that Freddy would carry on the rest of the franchise. And I think the humor and the dark tone balances really well here. Some of the later movies, that humor would get pretty ridiculous or bad at times, and I think Dream Warriors just balances both tones perfectly, both the scares and the comedy. And the comedy comes from Freddy. He has some great one-liners in this movie. He has great moments throughout the film. The movie also introduced a lot more elaborate deaths, There's Jennifer's Big Break TV death. There's one of my personal favorite deaths in the whole franchise, and that is the puppeteer death. I think that's one of the scariest deaths in the franchise. Very intense, very eerie, very scary. Another thing I love about this movie are the characters. All the characters are really likable. You want nothing to happen to them. And so, when they go into their dreams and they're going to defeat Freddy, you know that some aren't going to make it out. And when some of the characters die throughout the film, it's very heartbreaking because you want nothing to happen to them. You're invested in these characters because of the writing, which is another thing to talk about. Development of characters and the writing. You're invested in these characters who are developed throughout this whole movie, and you want them to survive. So again, when some of them do die, it's very heartbreaking. And, I still get emotional watching this movie because, again, these characters are so likable that when they die, it's devastating. But overall, I love this film. Writing is top-notch. The directing is great. There's a lot of great nightmare sequences throughout this film. The big first act where you're in Freddy's home and Kristen Parker, played by Patricia Arquette, is going through the house. That opening is great. Patricia Arquette is also good in this movie. I think she did a really good job for her first movie, or one of her first big movies. And she would go on later to be a part of so many other film and television projects. She's still working today, and she's a great actress. As far as the presentation goes of the 4K transfer, I absolutely loved it. It was, once again, like with Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and 2, just top-notch transfer. Colors were vivid in this movie. They were, popped out. You got some reds, you got some blues in this. So that was awesome. And again, like with the first two movies, this is the best this movie has looked, at least in a long time, if not the best. It takes you back to those early days of watching this movie for the first time, and I really loved the transfer in this movie. Sound-wise, it was great. So far, the Nightmare set has been such a treat to watch and revisit these movies. So I love Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. For me, it's not in my top 3. It's not in my top 2 like other people have it. But it's in my top 5. Like, it ranks in the top 5, and it deserves to be there. I love the film. I love it so much. Dawkins, soundtrack in this movie. You got to talk about Dawkins. The song is, a great, Dream Warriors. It's a classic song for a lot of people, and you don't even have to, watch this movie and listen to the movie while you're watching it to, just go and listen to the song by itself. You can listen to that song anytime and just love it. So I highly recommend revisiting Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. It is fantastic. It's an awesome movie, and again, it's in that top 5 for me. I absolutely love it. So that's going to be my review on Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors. Definitely check this one out. If it's been a while since you've seen it, go and revisit this movie. And if you have the 4K set, you're in for a real treat if you've not watched it yet on 4K. It is the best, if not one of the best transfers of the movie, and I'm really happy with this transfer. And I'm loving this set. I'm going to be watching the rest of them, and of course you're going to hear my thoughts on them, revisiting the movies, and talking about the presentation of each movie. So enjoy that, and I hope you're enjoying my countdown to Halloween videos. And so I'll talk to you soon. So as always, you all are awesome, you all rock. And with the positive out with the negative, always be yourself, and much love to you all. Bye.